Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into another edition of From the Rough. It's America's favorite golf podcast right here on FanStream Sports. I'm IndyCarTim. That guy way over there, I can't even reach you, Johnny. Can't even pull your hair.
I'm ducking.
PGA of America member, Mr. Johnny Gerber. But don't call him Gerber baby. Those royalties ran out a long time ago.
They certainly did, and I know I'm an unfamiliar face since I haven't been on here for so long. So thank you for holding down the fort while I've been gone. And trust me, everybody, it was not a vacation. I don't know what vacation is. I wish it was a vacation, but we will go into that in a later time. But we are back. I am back, and it's great to be back on the best golf show podcast in the country, guys.
The most popular golf show in Ohio.
Yeah.
And top 10 across the country. I don't know how we managed to do that, but I'm not going to argue with it.
I'm not going to say a word. It's probably because our ratings probably went up since you did the last 2 or 3 weeks solo. I'm sure they skyrocketed, right? I mean,
look, there's nothing funnier on YouTube than drunk golf talk.
Yeah. Solo golf, drunk golf talk solo. When you're talking to yourself and you're trying to answer yourself, that's the hardest part.
Well, the funniest part is when I argue with myself and I lose. That's the most curious part of all of this. But you
wonder why you lose arguments with other people. If you can't beat yourself, who you gonna beat?
Exactly. I'm a hard debater though. Like I debate pretty toughly, and I don't always speak the truth or facts. I just throw nonsense out there, and it confuses my opponent.
Is always the same meaning as never? Or is that the same? Okay, that's fine. We'll go that route.
Well, we are back in the saddle again, boys and girls. By the way, one of the greatest Aerosmith songs of all time. And Johnny won't get that reference because Johnny doesn't know music. But that's okay. Johnny knows golf, and he knows betting, and he knows handicapping, and that's really all we need to know. We are going to preview the Baycurrent Classic, as we are going to jet off to Japan, and I have some thoughts on that as well.
I know you do.
And, of course, get into Johnny's picks. I don't have picks this week because I didn't have time, because it takes me time to do this.
Why don't we do it in one of our breaks? Why don't you jump into it real quick and you only have 3 picks, so we have 2 commercials in between.
All right.
3 commercials in between. Why don't you just dive in?
Like
it doesn't take
each.
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't take you very long anyway. So what's the difference if you just do it in between breaks? No, it doesn't.
Takes me longer than it takes you.
You got 3 commercials. So 1 per commercial. Just throw a dart against the dartboard like you always do in the studio there, or spin the wheel, and then just pick somebody. That's the best way to do it.
Spin the wheel, huh?
Yes.
Huh. I hadn't thought about that. Colby and I did a segment where we let the wheel dictate every segment on our show last week, and it was freaking hysterical because we didn't know what we were going to talk about at any given point.
You got to get back into that. You got to get back into spinning that. Those were the greatest shows ever, especially the one where he ran blindfolded down the hallway with tacks on the
blindfolded and barefoot.
Yeah,
and it was mousetraps down the hallway of the studio here. Yeah, that wasn't very fun.
No, that was awesome.
All right, well, maybe I'll try to throw together my winner, my top 10, and my top 20 based on what I can find out. But during our very short breaks, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to pee and I got to find my picks. I don't know if that's possible, but I'll do my best.
Your catheter is not working anymore?
I hadn't changed it in like 20 years. They wanted me to pull it out.
Yeah, it's
probably. You ever had a catheter? You probably had one with your surgeries.
Oh, yeah.
So I had a catheter. Last time I had a catheter, as we get into male catheter talk here on From the Rough,
we get it all.
Nobody thought that was coming. If you had that on your bingo card, you probably win something.
You won automatically if you had that on your bingo card. You don't need any more B60s or A24s or whatever bingo is. You win. You just win.
Male catheter talk. So 2017 or 2018, I had to have a kidney stone removed. And that was probably my third time. I've had an issue with kidney stones in my adult life.
I wonder why, as healthy as you are, eating and drinking, I'm surprised.
I don't even know where they come from. But
kidneys.
So I had one that was, normally I have to pass them. I've never had to have one surgically removed, and I've never had to have them where they blow them up inside of you. This one though, I believe was like 11 millimeters. Like it was way bigger than anything you can pass, right? But it was also lodged up against, in my kidney, the entrance to I guess the urethra, whatever that tube, I don't know what it is, what the medical terminology. So they couldn't blow it up or it would have damaged tissue, right? So
sure.
So they literally had to go in, and I'm like, well, where do you cut me? You cut here, am I gonna have a scar? They're like, oh no. We go right up through the urethra. And I'm like, that is an exit hole. You can't go, which now I'm reminded from some women that I've had conversations with about that. But they're like, no, we'll put you to sleep. We go in. We got this little thing that will tear it apart, and we'll grab it and pull it out. And I'm like, all right, just make sure I'm asleep. No big deal. And I went through the surgery, but because when they do that, it kind of messes with the soft tissues, right? It damages it a little bit, creates some scar. It says you need time for that to heal before you can pee. Yeah. So I had a catheter, which I didn't know guys could get. Like, I didn't know how that worked until this happened. So, and it was for a week. Like, after I was out of surgery, and by the way, they're like, don't go near your wife. You can't get excited. It will be the most painful thing you've ever experienced, And I'm like, okay. I slept in another room. Like, she slept on the couch. Actually, I got my bed because I was the one with surgery. So yeah, it took a week, and I'm walking around with this thing, and I go to have it removed, and I was ready to have it out. It was hurting by now anyway. So I go into the doctor's office. And dude, my urologist was like 90 years old. I think I was the very last patient he ever had before he retired. So, he's old school. He's not like, okay, it's going to hurt a little. There was none of that, dude. He's like, all right, pull your pants down.
Get ready for fire.
And I'm like, all right, so I pulled my pants down. I got my wanker hanging out with the tube sticking out of it. And he's like, all right, so I'm going to count to 3, and I'm just going to pull. And he goes, and it's going to hurt. Are you ready? And I was like, yeah. He goes, 1, rip. Yep. He pulled it out after 1.
Oh, yeah. I
was like, what? Why would you do that? He goes, because if I would have waited till 3, you would have tensed up, and it would have hurt a lot more. I'm like, all right.
I remember a similar situation that when I had the catheter, I don't want to get into gross everybody out, but this is just part of what you get on this show.
I think it's too late.
Yeah, too late. So since we're already into it, she did the same thing to me, and I called her everything but a human being. Yeah. And I said, I'm sorry, honey. I didn't really mean it. And she said, no, I've been called worse. I said, really? Because that was pretty bad. She's like, yeah, that was bad, but I'm used to it now. I was like, okay, fair enough.
Oh, dude, it was bad. And they told me, by the way, they said as they were doing all of this after the surgery, they're like, oh, you have about 4 more kidney stones in your left side, which is on my left side. They're like, that we can see with the whatever the sonogram thing they do. Yeah. Look, when they show me the picture, there's one. I'm like, well, why can't I feel them? They're like, well, you only feel it if it irritates you somewhere. And she says, she pointed one out, and she goes, at some point, this one is going to cause you issues, and this is bigger than the one we just pulled out. Yeah. So every day since 2018, if I get any kind of little a feeling or something, I think, oh my God, this is it. Because that is by far the worst pain I have ever felt in my entire life.
I remember when I was a kid, I was young. I was probably 10 years old. I don't have a good memory that way, but I remember my dad, Jerome, had a kidney stone, and my dad is an old, tough guy, right? Old military guy. He's a guy's guy. And I remember seeing him in pain like that. And it's the only time, it happened since then, but growing up as a kid, you idolize your dad, and you met my dad. He's just a tough guy. Yeah. Jerome's just Jerome. And, I saw him in pain like that. And I remember him telling me, I very vaguely remember him saying, yeah, that was pretty tough. So when he said it was a lot, he had a lot of pain. I knew it was a lot of pain. Yeah. So,
it was bad, dude.
I don't wish that upon anybody for sure.
No, and I've had I've broken bones. I've blown my knee out several times. And before my kidney stones, that was the worst pain I had ever felt, is when I blew my knee out and it ripped every ligament and everything inside my knee. That was the worst until my first kidney stone. I literally wanted to die. I'm like, no, I couldn't sit still. I couldn't get comfortable. And it was just a constant stabbing, right? As I'm sitting in the ER, and I'm like, can somebody, and Lauren's there with me trying to settle me down. And I'm literally pacing, running around the waiting room. And they finally were like, oh, yes, just come on, let's do something. I'm like, just give me something. Like, it hurt so bad. It was so bad.
Yeah, these days they just go in with a laser and crush them and you're all good. Yeah. It's easy now. Yeah, the technology is great.
I don't even want to have to deal with it again. But they did say the biggest, for those of you men out there, I guess, or ladies too, the biggest culprit to cause kidney stones is drinking tea.
I heard milk and dark beverages.
So that's what that 90-year-old urologist dude told me. He's like, you can't drink tea. I'm like, dude, I drink a gallon of sweet tea every day. That's all I drink. He goes,
yeah,
you're not having any more. And I went about 2 years, I didn't drink tea. Then I was like, screw it, I gotta have some tea.
Yeah.
So
I'm going down what I like.
But like, I put vodka in my tea, in my sweet tea, so that should help it, right? It's diluted.
The John Daly's, little lemonade. Yes. Iced tea, lemonade, and a little vodka.
I love all of it. Well, let's get into, now that we've got our medical talk done for the
Speaking of kidney stones,
11 minutes of the show, Johnny.
We got to give them all
to Japan, and the PGA Tour's FedEx Cup Series continues with the 2025 Baycurrent Classic. This, of course, was formerly known as the Zozo.
Yep.
Don't know why we had to change sponsors. I don't know why we're even in Japan. I don't understand this.
Growth of the game, son. Growth of the game.
No, they already have golf in Japan. It's called Japanese golf. All right? We don't need it to send Americans over there or the PGA Tour players. They have their own tour. Why are we playing golf in Japan? There's plenty of golf courses in America. Have they run out?
We're losing sponsors. I remember 2 weeks ago, then when they had an off week, it was supposed to be Vegas, right? So the Shriners didn't renew their sponsorship. Yep. So it's at this point for the PGA Tour, you got to go where the sponsors are giving you the money. And listen, these tour players aren't, it's not a full field. It's not the biggest field on the PGA Tour. And the tour players aren't traveling
big. It's 78 players.
78, but a normal 144 is a full field, right? So it's half the field of what it is. But these guys aren't flying Spirit. So I don't feel bad for these guys having to travel. They have a charters over there that 20, 30 guys had their chartered a private plane. That's how they do it. So they're getting their sleep, they're getting their time change. And coincidentally is, the tournament starts in about 5 hours from now. So, they're 12, 14 hours ahead of us. So it was good to get this in and get everybody's betting so you can get it in and make some candy.
Well, they should make them play during American hours.
Tee
off at 1 o'clock Central every day is what they should do.
I know you haven't traveled around the world in Canada, or you haven't been outside the country besides Canada, and we don't consider Canada a country. But to contrary belief, the United States isn't the center of the world. It's just not. It's not. It is certainly is not. We're behind on everything in the world. Trust me when I tell you this. Apparently
why do we have the greatest golfers in the world? Why do we then that's all that matters. And unless they have played every single golf course in America and they don't like them anymore, then they should start traveling outside of America and stop calling it the PGA Tour. Call it the World Tour of American Golf. WTAG.
It might be. It might be soon.
Disgusting. I'm so sick of them playing golf outside of America.
Coming from the guy that can't get a passport.
Well, I've never tried. I've never needed one.
Well, there's a difference between when you try to get a passport and you get declined. That is trying, right?
Never tried. Well, I've never filed for a passport in my entire life.
Because you're not going to get it. You just don't want the rejection.
Because I know I'm not going anywhere where I need one. I don't need a passport to go to Fort Worth.
You got to open. Oh, that's a different country in itself.
Not out of Texas.
Yeah, well, I know, and it's a different world over in Fort Worth.
Stupid passports.
Fort Worthless.
Stupid.
I actually like Fort Worth. I lived over there.
Fort Worth is nice. Just where
I like Fort Worth.
Was crap.
Where I live was nice. It was fine.
Meh. Needed better bars.
Just because where I live wasn't nice doesn't. We always need better bars. I mean,
That's
Chili's
true.
did me right every once in a while.
Dude, I
could walk across
loved
the street.
that Chili's. That Chili.
Yeah,
I
that
met,
Chili's is sweet.
I met a couple of girls in that Chili's. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
you
lie.
did. I left you alone there for
You
way
did?
too long that one afternoon. Next
You
thing I
abandoned
know, I
me.
got a $130. But and by the way, it's very difficult during happy hour, chips and salsa, and $5 margaritas to have a damn $130 bar bill. Do you know that, right? You
I
know,
drank Presidente margaritas and they weren't $5.
$6.50. Sorry,
Those were good, man. I need another Presidente margarita.
I get you. I'm calling you on the way home. I leave you for 2 hours. You're doing work, and he's like,
Oh my
"You're gonna
God,
be
dude,
mad."
I was drunk.
Yeah, he's like, "You're gonna be mad at me." I was like, "Oh boy, what did you do? What did you
I
do?"
was
It's
so
like,
drunk.
my bar bill's over $100. I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna be mad at you. I'm just disappointed."
You were.
Yeah.
You're like, you're not even bringing a girl home, and it was $100. Man, I know. It's all right.
Well, and then when I walked in there, I figured out how. I think you bought the whole bar around of drinks, and
There was like
yeah.
4 of us in there when I was in there too.
Yeah.
It was the middle of the
I
day.
know. I paid their bill apparently.
No, they paid themselves. That one single mom girl that I thought was about 18 was like 35, and when she finally told me her age, I'm like, oh, yeah, I gotta go.
Yeah,
You're way out of my demographic.
it's free chips and salsa and still over $130.
I might have ordered queso and guacamole too, though.
Yeah, sorry, $6 for that.
There you go. That's better.
Those fireballs are expensive. There were some fireballs on there.
Man, there were a ton of fireballs on there. I love me some fireballs.
I know you do.
All right, Johnny, the number 3 stop on the fall schedule. This is going to have everything that everybody wants that's not in a regular season event. You've got a strong field, a brand new venue, a little bit of Tiger Woods history sprinkled in here. So let's take here a closer look at the Yokohama Golf Club. Did I say that right? Yokohama.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Konadiska.
Pretty good.
Hunchung Chow.
That's
how-
different.
Oh, is that different? I don't know. I don't know the difference. So the Baycurrent Classic, it's 78 players, as we mentioned, battling it out for a share of an $8 million purse, which seems like a big purse for a fall event.
Yeah.
The winner will get a cool $1.44 million. Of course, the fall series where players outside the top 70 are fighting to secure their PGA Tour status for 2026. So while it's not like a playoff event, it has that feel. And for a lot of these guys, it is. It is. You got to do well or you're done for next year. So there's a lot on the line here. Some big names here headline the field. Xander Schauffele, your buddy Colin Morikawa, all won this event in 2023. They're both teeing it up. Hideki Matsuyama, Sahith Theegala, Adam Scott, Billy Horschel, Sung J.M., and defending champ, of course, Nico
Echeverria.
So I always say Echeverria.
Echeverria.
Then on TV, they say Echevarria.
Echevarria, yeah.
Echevarria. And I'm like, all right, I like my way better for sure. So it's also a special week for Japan's golf fans, of course. 14 players from the Japan Golf Tour organization are in the field, making this a co-sanctioned event. Again, unnecessary.
Very necessary.
Very unnecessary. You got a few guys coming in hot. Garrick Higo, Rasmus Højgaard, Vince Whaley, Eric Cole, all cracked the top 10 last week at the Sanderson Farm. So expect those names to carry a little bit of momentum overseas here if they're not jet lagged. Or if they even made it to Japan. How can you even find Japan on a map? Like who can fly there? Like how do you find it?
There's three letters. GPS.
All right. Well, is it on GPS? If you say Japan, will it know where that is?
Certainly it was. It's something called coordinates on an airplane. You dial, you punch in, and that's usually how that usually works.
I've never understood how they find places.
That's why you don't like to fly, because you don't understand the whole. You don't understand the concept of aviation,
especially over water. No, I'm out. Like when I had to fly to Tampa and they wanted to fly over the Gulf of Mexico, I'm like, dude, there's plenty of land you can fly over here along the coast where we can see land, and we don't have to fly over the Gulf of America.
Yeah, can we make it 7 hours on a 2-hour flight and go around?
I would rather do that than fly 3 hours over the water.
So you'd rather crash in dirt than you would in water?
Yes, they'll find you faster.
No, they won't.
If you crash in water, you're dead.
I think
you can hold your breath for a long time.
I think land is a little bit firmer than water on a land.
In an airplane, when you crash, it all feels the same.
Yeah,
that is a fact, sir.
Yeah, I don't think there's much difference. That's for sure.
This year's Baycurrent Classic is making history of its own. For the first time, the tournament will be played at Yokohama Country Club, about 20 miles south of Tokyo. There's still a Tokyo? I thought we bombed the crap out of Tokyo. Is that still around? Remember Pearl Harbor? Remember what happened? Why do we still like the Japanese? Remember what happened at Pearl Harbor? The West Course, redesigned in 2016 by Bill Coore and Ben Crenshaw, will host the bulk of the play. 7,315-yard par 71. The mix of, now you probably know how to pronounce these grasses because they're all Japanese. Koryai Zoysia?
Koya Zoysia.
I don't like my way better. Fairways with bent grass. So they stole our greens too. They have bent, because I know bent grass is not native to Japan.
Yes, it is.
There's no way.
It's a seed. These are seeds. They're not grasses. Seeds, grasses start with a seed, and you water them and you cultivate them.
So you had to buy it. Stick them in the ground.
Why do you do this to me? Why do you do this to me?
The course blends 16 holes from the west and 2 from the east, so they're not even using the same a golf course. They're having to mix 2 golf courses to make 1 golf course.
And you got a problem with that too, right?
Yeah. Why would you? Why? What's wrong? Are the courses not good enough?
It's 36 holes there, and there's two 9s that are much more difficult, but they intertwine on each golf courses, and the routing is a little bit better. It's more of logistical things, routing, things like that. So it's just not all just because of that. This is very common on golf courses on the PGA Tour. What you don't know is there's a lot of golf courses, tournament golf courses, that they use different holes on some of the different.
Then that should just be the course. That should be the course then.
It's not that easy.
So unstable.
That's why you're never going to be a tournament director.
I am a tournament director, sir. And I plan to write a strongly worded letter about this, but I can't write Japanese.
In Japanese, okay.
I can't write in Japanese.
I'd love to see it. I'd love for you to try at break.
So several adjustments have been made ahead of this event. New bunkers, tees, and rough have been added to toughen things up. And according to your buddy, Colin Morikawa, it's a beauty. He said the greens are some of the best he's ever played on the tour. The design makes the green complexes look smaller than they really are, so it'll be a great test. So I'm so confused by all of this. They're not playing real golf courses. They had to completely change the golf courses in order to host the event. What is the point?
There's a lot of point. There's a lot there. The point is they're taking 36 holes and making it a great 18 holes. Not every 18-hole golf course is every hole is great or every hole is really good. There's some bunny holes. There's routing issues. There's differences where you have to put hospitality tents and trailers and things of that nature that might not fit on one golf course. It just doesn't work that way. So
I get that. But then my question is, rather than go through all that trouble to go play in Japan,
why not stay here?
Why not go find a course that has all of that already, where you don't have to do all that BS?
Well, Japan doesn't have a lot of golf courses. It's very expensive to be in Japan. It's way more expensive to be in Japan than it is in the United States. Land is a lot more expensive there.
So dumb.
That's why there's not as many golf courses over there. Tim?
So stupid. Look, we got a great par 3 course here in Louisville. I would love to host a PGA Tour event.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen either.
Why? We can just change it. That's all we got to do. We can just make it an entirely different course, and then we can host a PGA Tour event.
Why don't you just go to Lake Louisville and go fishing, too, and make it a bass tournament and a golf tournament both?
Well, they already did that once.
Where?
Well, they didn't have fishing, but they had the bass fishing on Fox in Lake Louisville once.
That's called a Bass Masters.
Oh, I don't know. I don't fish. I just eat them.
How do you not fish?
I mean, I used to. I just don't have the energy for it. And I don't like to touch them. They're gross.
Are you a man?
It's disgusting. Touching fish. We weren't meant to touch fish as human beings.
How do you think back in the day people ate and everything? Like hunting?
They had little spears and stuff. They like bunga. They would spear it and cook it. They didn't have to touch it.
That's before fire.
Fire. Johnny, you can't talk about this event without mentioning some of golf's most memorable moments, including Tiger Woods, his record-tying win at the 2019 Zozo Championship. After knee surgery that summer, he came back and in vintage Tiger fashion, bogeyed his first 3 holes, and then dominated the rest of the way. That might be the last thing I remember about Tiger. That was his last 82nd career PGA Tour win, tying Sam Snead's all-time record. And that might be the last thing I remember about Tiger.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. I mean, it's, I don't know what to say. It's not really historic, right? I mean, you're thinking
it's not considered historic. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just one of those. Yeah. I don't know what to say. It's great. It's his last win. That will go down in the record books as maybe his last win. Maybe
as it should.
Maybe
it should certainly be his last win. All right, boys and girls, we're going to give everybody a break because apparently I got to go figure out what my picks are. And we're going to take our first.
They're in Lake Louisville with the fish that you don't like to touch.
No, I like to eat them. I just don't like to clean them or anything. I mean, I used to. Like, I used to do it all the time. I just, now that I'm old, I'm like, meh. I don't know. I don't feel like it. I just don't want to. We are from the rough right here on FanStream Sports. We are previewing the kind of, in a roundabout way, previewing the Baycurrent Classic. We do have Johnny's winning picks coming up for you that we posted on fanstreamsports.com earlier in the show, or earlier in the day, and across all social media for you. We hope you get a chance to check those out. We will go over those in great detail towards the end of the show. I'm Tim. That's Johnny. We'll be back after this.
Hi, golfers. IndyCarTim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there.
Today's show is brought to you by Tomstown, a premier craft distillery based in Kansas City, Missouri. Discover their award-winning lineup, including double oaked bourbon, botanical gin, and double grain vodka, named the best craft vodka by the readers of USA Today. Available for online delivery in 40 states. Visit toms-town.com or their Kansas City distillery to explore more. Elevate your game with Tomstown, where history meets innovation. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hello, folks. Let's talk a little bit about turf life. What is turf life? It's pretty much, if your life involves turf in any way, shape, or form, you live the turf life. Go ahead and brand yourself with the turf life. Maybe a back window decal, maybe a hat. You know where you can get those kinds of things to showcase that your life revolves around sports and or anything that involves sports. If it's a sports business or sports education or just your enjoyment of the outdoors, head over to turflifeclub.com. Become a turf head. Join the club today. You can do that by going to that said website that I just told you to go to. You can snag your window decal like I was talking about, or any of your other turf life accessories. Show everybody that you live the turf life, and we'll see you there over there at that turflifeclub.com.
Orion Golf Management Solutions. Orion Management Solutions has tailored its service packages just like it tailors its approach to customers. Some owners need more supervision, while others need periodic assessment of their short-term and long-term strategies and programs. Orion can be called in to develop a business plan with the existing staff, or we can assist with the daily management of a facility or event. Either way, we make sure the client is satisfied and understands the direction the facility needs to go in order to achieve the owner's goals. Orion Management Solutions can help with owner assistance service solutions, daily course management, business plan development, monthly operations, or as-needed consulting services. Whatever your need, Orion Golf Management Solutions can help. Check out oriongolf.com.
Let's go! Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back to From the Rough right here on FanStream Sports. I told you those breaks were quick, man. We need about 18 more sponsors so we can make the commercials a little bit longer. So I got time to do things.
That's coming.
In our breaks. I need to go to the bathroom. I need to refill my drink. I got to find my picks. Just don't have time to do anything with those short sponsors. But hey, we love the sponsors we do have. Thank you to Orion Golf, Tomstown Distilling Company, of course, Turf Life, and Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We appreciate everybody for helping make From the Rough the #1 golf podcast in the state of Ohio for some reason. and number 3 across the rest of the country.
There's a lot of reasons why. We mean for what? For some reason.
I meant just why is it only number 1 in Ohio and not in Delaware or Nevada or Montana? Like, why Ohio?
Because maybe they just have a lot of people who like to listen about catheters and kidney stones. And
because I'll tell you why. Because Johnny is a living legend in the state of Ohio.
Well, I one of those is correct. Living is correct, maybe, and most of the time I'm not living. So yeah,
not so much a legend though.
There's some validity to that.
So Johnny, there is more than just the $1.44 million prize available to those players at the Baycurrent Classic. It's a critical opportunity for those guys, as we mentioned at the start of the show, that are kind of hovering around the top 100 mark to make a play for 2026. You've got Rasmus Højgaard at number 75, Gary Woodland at number 76, Michael Thorbjornsen at number 90, Alex Noren at number 113. These guys are all looking to lock up their PGA Tour cards for 2026. So I'm kind of throwing this at you unprepared. I know I didn't ask you to prepare for this question, but is there any of the guys right now that you know of that are outside the top 70, maybe pushing outside the top 100 that you don't think will be playing in 2026? Or is there a guy that you know for a fact he's going to do well and he's going to get his card?
Well, it's a little bit strange when you say that. I mean, you look at a guy like Alex Noren, even though he's outside, he's like, what would you say he was? 113. 113. But obviously with some motivation, potentially being a vice captain of the Ryder Cup and winning the week before in the BMW Championship, one of the premier events on the European Tour, that gives him status.
Right.
So you look at a guy like that, it's just a grizzled veteran. Only reason he's probably 113 a little bit is, he kind of still splits his time between the DP World Tour. He's going to get enough starts and status when it comes to something like that. And we'll talk about him a little bit later on as he's going to be on our card. And you look at a guy like Michael Thorbjornsen who sits there at 90, he's on our card also, is that maybe a bit of an underachiever. He's had some really good starts here lately. I just think he got off to a very slow start. He had full status on the PGA Tour, and he's just a guy that I have a lot of high expectations for. So there's so many great storylines when it comes to, these events coming up. And, for those out there that thinks this is just kind of it's not like it used to be the silly season and all that. No, it doesn't. It's not like that anymore. So yeah, there's so many great things. I kind of like the way that some of these European Ryder Cup and the U.S. Ryder Cup guys are playing. I like that. I thought it was weird that Rasmus played last week right after the back of the Ryder Cup down in Sanderson. Not being a very big event and a kind of a weird golf course. It's very, very, very hot down there this time of year. So that was a weird start. I thought he would start this week. So again, I like this week. Last week was just kind of I felt beat up after the Ryder Cup, handicapping golf and so much, mental anguish and stress. Yeah. And then, it feels like this week we're kind of back in the saddles and going again after a week that I thought they certainly should have, most of the guys took off.
Yeah. And look, I want to reflect back because we haven't done a show about the Ryder Cup or anything. We previewed it a little bit with the teams when they were announced. We never did a post-event show. And I've been doing a little bit of reading on how things transpired there. Of course, it was and I talked about how excited I was for this Ryder Cup. Like, I was more excited, and I think you said the same thing, that I was more excited going into this Ryder Cup than maybe I've been in a long time for the Ryder Cup. And that's saying something because I love the Ryder Cup. But after one day, I lost interest very rapidly. And it wasn't just because the United States was losing, because frankly, I picked Europe to win. I think a lot of us picked Europe to win. We knew this might not go the way that Americans hoped it would go. It was just the way they were losing. I lost interest very, very quick. And I was not tuned in for all 3 days, start to finish. Like, I wasn't. I had other things going on. And I had to make myself watch on the final day so I could get a kind of a feel of how things were going, which might have been the best day for the Americans. But going in going into it, of course, Keegan Bradley as the captain has many, many duties. And part of that is helping set up the course. He gets to dictate kind of how the course is played. And everything I'm reading going into it, he decided that he thought he would try to help his team by widening the fairways and shortening the rough. That 1,000% backfired, as the first day became a putting contest and the Americans could not putt very well on that day. What are your thoughts? Should he have kept Bethpage Black as one of the hardest courses in the world and just let the guys played it? Or do you think, and in retrospect, it's easier to say, well, yeah, that kind of screwed him. But what do you think about his strategy for doing that ahead of the event?
Well, self-admittingly, he said he set up the golf course wrong.
Yeah.
And in his eyes, he set up the golf course wrong. Yeah, absolutely. In certainty that you look at, here's how I looked at it. I looked at it two ways. You would eliminate a couple guys from, if you look at the stats on the stats, if you made it long, if you made it very, very long and high rough and narrow the fairways, well, it would be impossible. But I thought that would be an advantage for the U.S. team, having so many better players on paper ranked, right? Mm-hmm. I think you got a good point in retrospect. Yeah. What would you really do different? I mean, the bottom line is this: the Europeans were just better. I mean, they were just better. They played better. Every aspect of what they did was better. And I had mixed feelings going into the last round. And, there was such unprecedented Sunday for the Americans, and if it wasn't for that, it was just a lipstick on a pig. I mean, my only issue was not only issue. One of my biggest issues was, the quality, the rudeness of the crowds, the lack of attention and controlling the crowds was the storyline for a lot of people. And
the crowd should never be the storyline at the Ryder Cup.
And it took away from watching the best players in the world. And
it was an embarrassment.
How the PGA of America, and I'm a proud member of the PGA of America, did not take control over the crowd. Their lack of preparation for the crowd, and just a lot of things. And they're back now, whether they're walking backwards and having to say it just because how ridiculous it was. They're saying, yeah, we could have done a better job. Well, of course you could have done a better job. This is not like your first Ryder Cup.
Yeah.
And 2 years ago, people can say all they want. 2 years ago in Rome was brutal for the Americans. That was church compared to what they dealt with. And listen, they can deal with some bantering and they can deal with something. And if you're going to go to the Ryder Cup and spend a lot of money, why don't you, as opposed to booing the American or booing the European team, why don't you just root for the Americans?
Yeah.
Use that energy for a positive thing, rooting for a team, as opposed to a negative thing. I mean, there's a lot of things that I know that I've heard from people that were actually there, PGA members, executives in the PGA that I had talked to, and I won't say who they are, and I won't say exactly what was said. They were embarrassed. They were embarrassed.
We were all embarrassed as Americans. I was.
They were embarrassed. They were embarrassed. They were embarrassed from the people.
Yeah.
How they were. And just because you spend $1,500 for a ticket doesn't mean you can do what you want. Nope. That's not. And golf is a little bit different than other sports and football. You've seen this a little bit in basketball where, guys went to into the crowds and defended themselves and things like that. But it's a little bit different in golf because look how close you are to them, to the crowds. I mean, for right any professional sport, the crowds are as closest to you as any sport in the world. Any sport in the world. And people will go say, oh, well, soccer is the worst. Okay, soccer may be the worst, but you're 500 yards from any spectator.
Right.
They're not right on top of you. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I was so excited about the Ryder Cup and disappointment I wasn't disappointed that the United States was getting shellacked after 2 days. I wasn't.
No.
That didn't lose my interest. I was just like, guys, maybe this is what you should get.
Yeah.
Talking all that nonsense.
Well, now it's going to be exciting to see here now in a couple of years how it's approached by whoever the captain is, in making, and where's the venue in 2 years? I can't, off the top of my head, I can't remember.
It is in
where it's going to be.
It is in France. No, Ireland. It's in Ireland.
Yeah, County Limerick, Ireland, at Adair Manor, whatever it's called.
Yeah, it's in Ireland.
So yeah, no, I was just disheartened, I guess. And I was disappointed by the actions of the fans. That to me was just disgraceful. And in a stadium setting of a different sport, fans like that get escorted out immediately.
Absolutely.
And I don't understand why that was allowed to continue in an intimate setting like a golf course when you're that close to the people you're heckling and throwing drinks on the player's wife, by the way.
They're better than I am, because if I was a player, they would have escorted me out, because I would have whooped their ass. I don't care about anything. And I wrote an article on fanstreamsports.com about, where does the Ryder Cup, the U.S. team and the captain, where do they go now? What's the next step? Who's the next captain? What's the solution? Right. And if you're interested in a cool little short piece and questions to make you think a little bit, go to fanstreamsports.com, scroll down and look at the article that Tim and I wrote on this subject. And me, like I said, as a 20-year PGA member, I don't have the answer. I don't know. We have 2 years to figure it out, but we also had 2 years to figure out the last one and still couldn't get it figured out. So
yeah, the problem is, I think after Italy, you thought more, or some people probably thought more, man, that was kind of a fluke, right? That happened. It was a fluke. But in retrospect, those of us who talk about stuff like that, it wasn't a fluke. And we knew exactly why it had happened. It was because of the lack of camaraderie on the American side.
That's the number one thing.
Yeah, because these guys they don't play on teams. They're even for their country. They're individual players, and that's how they approached the Ryder Cup in Italy, and it showed. Well, now you thought, okay, well, now it's here. We're at home. This is our time. We're the best 12 golfers that you could put together for this event, and it didn't matter because, again, you don't have that camaraderie that even the European team showed over here.
Yeah,
and that makes a huge difference. International play over there is so much more important to the players than it is over here. Nobody here gives a crap about international play, whether it's the Olympics, the President's Cup, the Ryder Cup. Literally, I guarantee you nobody cares. All the Americans were whining about was money.
And I'll leave it at this, because Ryder Cup is been 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think the crowd actually hurt the Americans. And here's why. Because the players were so disgusted about the actions that they were having to try to apologize for the Americans' actions, the crowd's actions, and taking away from the concentration of the games. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
We'll leave
100%.
it at that.
I agree 100%. All right, Johnny, last break of the day, and then we will come back with Johnny's picks. I'll cover also, because it's on another planet this week, the PGA Tour invades Mars or some such. We'll talk about the times that you'll have to pay attention to golf on another planet. I'm IndyCarTim. That guy over there, Johnny Gerber, PGA of America member, Johnny Gerber. Back after this.
Hi, golfers. IndyCarTim here. I want to talk to you a little bit about Golf Central Magazine. It's not just a golf magazine. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Head over to golfcentralmag.com and check out the latest issue. Some of the regular features in Golf Central Magazine: the Golf Bachelorette of the Month, the Golf Bachelor of the Month, the Golf Cart Girl of the Month, Golf History, Grip It and Sip It. So head over to golfcentralmag.com. It's free. It's the magazine for everything: turf, travel, philanthropy, and lifestyle. Golf Central Magazine at golfcentralmag.com. We'll see you there.
Today's show is brought to you by Tomstown, a premier craft distillery based in Kansas City, Missouri. Discover their award-winning lineup, including double oaked bourbon, botanical gin, and double grain vodka. Named the best craft vodka by the readers of USA Today. Available for online delivery in 40 states. Visit toms-town.com or their Kansas City distillery to explore more. Elevate your game with Tomstown, where history meets innovation. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hello, folks. Let's talk a little bit about turf life. And what is turf life? It's pretty much if your life involves turf in any way, shape, or form, you live the turf life. Go ahead and brand yourself with the turf life. Maybe a back window decal, maybe a hat. You know where you can get those kinds of things to showcase that your life revolves around sports and or anything that involves sports. If it's a sports business or sports education or just your enjoyment of the outdoors, head over to turflifeclub.com. Become a turf head. Join the club today. You can do that by going to that said website that I just told you to go to. You can snag your window decal like I was talking about, or any of your other turf life accessories. Show everybody that you live the turf life, and we'll see you there over there at that turflifeclub.com.
Orion Golf Management Solutions. Orion Management Solutions has tailored its service packages just like it tailors its approach to customers. Some owners need more supervision, while others need periodic assessment of their short-term and long-term strategies and programs. Orion can be called in to develop a business plan with the existing staff, or we can assist with the daily management of a facility or event. Either way, we make sure the client is satisfied and understands the direction the facility needs to go in order to achieve the owner's goals. Orion Management Solutions can help with owner assistance service solutions, daily course management, business plan development, monthly operations, or as-needed consulting services. Whatever your need, Orion Golf Management Solutions can help. Check out oriongolf.com.
Let's go. Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
Welcome back once again to From the Rough right here on FanStream Sports, America's favorite golf podcast. And when I say America, I'm talking about my neighbor named America. Of course, everybody understands that, right? America, it's Ohio's favorite golf cast, but it's the country of America's third favorite golf podcast. I'm not even going to mention the two in front of us because they're irrelevant.
I think we're pretty high up there in Texas, too.
Because where else are you going to get catheter talk before you get into Japanese golf talk?
Hey.
With a mention of Pearl Harbor on the side.
You know, when you get all kinds of, when you're playing golf with people, it's just part of the natural banter and conversations. And when you're playing golf with people, so we might as well bring it to the air.
All right. So let's talk about how to watch Japanese golf extravaganza, Baycurrent variety. I think that's the official name of the tournament this week. You're going to have to stay up late, go to bed early and get up late because we'll go Eastern time for everybody because, again, we're a national show. 11 p.m. Eastern time. That would be 10 o'clock Central for those of you that are time zone challenged. Wednesday through Saturday. And it's only on Golf Channel because apparently they love Japan and they hate Pearl Harbor. But the Golf Channel, 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 o'clock Central. What would that be? 8 o'clock Pacific p.m. So if you're on the West Coast, you get it at a decent hour still.
Yeah, it's not bad.
But 11 to 3 a.m. So you get, what's that, 11, 12,
that'll be live.
4 hours. Yeah,
that'll be live.
Broadcast.
Yeah, and they'll do some replays during regular telecast hours.
Yeah, nobody wants. But
there's still a lot of good golf. We still got Corn Ferry. We still got the ladies. So there's still plenty of golf that you can watch on the Golf Channel and cover. So just don't feel like that's you're going to get cut out of golf this weekend. I know a lot of people around the country. The season's kind of ending up, especially up north, and you can still get your golf fix.
You can for sure. And as you mentioned, I believe on the last show that we did, we're going to expand our palette a little bit here on From the Rough and get into, because we always say we want to, we just don't have enough time to get into the LPGA, to get into the Corn Ferry, to get in maybe some DP World Tour, things like that. I'm interested in all of it, except for when the PGA Tour goes to Japan. Yeah. And we'll have to expand our hours to get into all of that, and we can't fit all of that in, and catheter talk and love line talk in an hour. It can't be done.
We are going to be doctors, we're going to be lawyers, we're going to be everything that you want us
therapists.
To be. And if you and please give us some feedback. I mean, if you guys want 2 hours 3 days a week, this is what we're going to give you, and we certainly can bring that to you. And we're, like Tim said, it's great. Just by the popular demand, we have been asked. We're just not doing it on our own. We have been asked to expand and to do longer. New sponsors coming on board, which is going to be great. And, we're looking forward to it, especially we're going to play around with a little bit at the end of this year, but certainly we will be launching it in 2026, the new schedule. And we'll post that on fanstreamsports.com when our schedule is going to be
and
kind of
all
moving
across
forward
social media too. Yeah.
Yep.
So make sure you're following us on social media at J Gerber PGA Pro, at IndyCarTim. The show is at From the Rough PGA, and the network, of course, at FanStream Sports DFW. Johnny, I made some picks at your behest. I didn't have time to make a graphic for it because that takes some production time that I did not have. But I would like to give you. Can I cheat? Can I do this? Can I have the same guy in all three spots?
No.
Oh, I can't.
No, you cannot.
Oh, okay. Well, that was what I was going to do.
No. Well, of course you were. Of course you were.
All right. Well, then I will put him in my top 10. All right. Well, you're not going to like some of my picks then. And without looking,
do I ever like any of your picks?
Look, I want to go with a value pick as the winner. And it's
meaning favorite. Is that what you're saying?
It's low. Well, no, he's not the favorite.
Well, favorite is in the top 5
at 10-1. I'm not picking Xander Schauffele, and I'm not picking Colin Mora Coward at 16-1.
Yeah,
I'm not picking Hideki Matsuyama at 18-1. How about Siwoo Kim at 22-1?
You just couldn't get past the Asians, could you?
Well, it's in Japan.
But he's not Japanese.
Okay, but he's close. Oh, I mean, right?
Sorry to our Korean fans.
It's closer to Japan than it is America, right? So, all right, Johnny, my top 10, I will put the guy who I wanted to be in all three. Chris Goddard up at plus 700 in my top 10. How you like him, Apples?
I do. I like it. I'm just worried about he's not really great with overseas travel and that part of the world and culture, even though he did win in Scotland. But it's not bad.
Does he like Asian women? Are you
I don't know.
Privy to this information?
I am not privy to this information. He is from Jersey.
Yep.
So I think he's not scared.
Right. All right. Well, then let me throw my top 20 at you at plus 800, Johnny.
Whoa. Oh, no way.
Sam Ryder. How you like
That's
that?
Not bad.
Sam Ryder at plus 800.
At that value, that's not bad. He needs to get his card. He needs to earn his card.
He's desperate.
Short field.
Yep. So what do you think?
That might be the best pick you've had all year.
I didn't even prepare it. I just sort of.
I'm serious. I'm being serious. That could be. That
can't be accurate.
The smartest, dumbest pick you've had all year.
You don't know me. I was going to put Garrett Higo in all of them, by the way.
Well, that's
because Garrett Higo on my for me right here, 22-1 to win. He is plus 700 for top 10 and plus 225 for top 20. So I thought, you know, I got to win somewhere. I mean, surely he's in a short field like that. He's going to finish in one of those spots.
Yeah, coming off a second place last week, sure.
But you wouldn't let me cheat, so
no, can't cheat in golf. Golf tells you everything about yourself. Don't cheat in golf.
So I don't use a foot wedge like our buddy Big Red uses on a frequent basis up there in Missouri. All right, Johnny, it's time for everybody to make a little money with Johnny's winning picks. Oh, I probably should add it to the studio here so I can actually put it on screen, huh? As we entertain match game music for JG over here. Boom and boom, sir.
Yeah, going into last week, not a great week last week, kind of exhausted. No excuses for us when our betting, not cashing a ticket, but we still are positive for the year, just over $1,000. I know that's not a lot. I know you guys are disappointed, but our matchup record, no matchups last week. And, unfortunately, we only had a couple picks for the Ryder Cup, just the situation. I didn't want to just throw out stuff. But still, we are 52, 22, and 5 for the year on our matchups, still over plus 1,000. But we still have some events left. Getting back on the horse this week, Kurt Kitayama. I do like him here at plus at 20-1. This golf course is going to lend for a guy. The ball goes a long way in this elevation in Japan. So look at a guy, a long hitter like Kurt Kitayama at 20-1 to have some success there. I like him on this card. Some pretty decent value there from the two-time winner on the PGA Tour this year. Garrick Higgo at 30-1 and Minwoo Lee at 30-1. Garrick Higgo coming off a second-place finish last week, going into some really good form. I really like him in this spot, playing really good golf. He's the guy that, man, you got that loud. You don't want to hear me?
Oh, it's not loud on my end. Sorry. I'll turn it down.
Crazy loud.
I'll turn it down.
I thought you just didn't like that pick and you just wanted to turn it off.
I think you're having headphone issues is what you're having.
I don't know. But yeah, I like Garrick Higgo and Minwoo Lee at 30-1. Minwoo Lee, I expect a little bit more out of this guy. Super creative. Obviously, I like his sister a hell of a lot more than I like him. But that being said, that doesn't mean there's not good value, and he can't not win this week at 30-1. Top 10s pick this, or no, ham sandwich. Sorry, Eric Cole at 60-1. It's the golf course again, elevation. Even though I did say Kurt Kitayama, it's going to help him with his length. Eric Cole hits it plenty far, and his iron game is superior to a lot of guys on the PGA Tour. One of the best iron players on the PGA Tour. 60-1, coming off a solid week last week. I like him in that spot. Two top 10s, Alex Noren at plus 200. Michael Bjornsson at plus 300 to finish in the top 10. Like we said, I think Alex Noren's going to get motivated as a vice captain of the Ryder Cup, winner of the BMW Championship. So he's won in the past month. That goes a long way when it comes to an event like this. He's not worried about in that 113. He's going to get plenty of starts on the PGA Tour with his status on the DP World Tour. He's not in that kind of crunch situation. Right. But I think he's playing well enough and motivated. Just coming off a successful Ryder Cup vice captaincy. And Thorbjornsen.
Thorbjornsen.
God bless you. Plus 300. Again, he's an underachiever in my mind. The guy's got so much talent. I know he's battled a couple injuries this summer, but you look at a guy like this, that is a short field. I think his talent's going to come out this week. I like him at plus 300. Two top 20 picks this week. Gary Woodland at plus 150. Tom Kim at plus 210. Gary Woodland, again, a vice captain on the U.S. side. I think he's played really solid this year. He's sitting outside that bubble, but he still has some status. So he's not really grinding on it, but I think he's with his length, I think he's going to have a lot of opportunities to make birdies, and he can make a ton of birdies. I like him in this spot at 150. And Tom Kim at plus 210. Not a great year for Tom Kim. Some success last week. I think he's starting to get the ball rolling a little bit. I think he's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable in his shoes, and I like him in this spot to finish in the top 20 at plus 210.
And there you go, boys and girls. There are your Johnny's picks for the Baycurrent Don't Call Me Zozo Classic. Now, look, it's the first time they've ever had this tournament. How can it already be a classic? They're calling it the Baycurrent Classic.
They have high expectations for themselves.
Okay, well, let's tap the brakes a little bit there because you're a one-off, all right? We're not going to have this tournament next year. It ain't happening.
Yes, it is.
It's my prediction.
No, again, coming
next year it might be called the FanStream Sports Japan Invitational.
And you still won't go.
No, I'm not going. We got guys over there to run that stuff. I don't need. Look, if I got to have a parachute or a passport, I'm not going. And I feel like to get to Japan, I need both. Even if I'm on a boat, dude. Have you seen cruise ships? They're like 30 stories tall now.
You've never been on a cruise?
No, and I'm not planning on it.
Well, you've really lived life.
Have you ever seen Titanic?
I've been on a million cruises.
Did you know those icebergs can pop up anywhere and you'll never see it? I don't care what people are like, not in the Caribbean. Oh, you want to bet?
Coming from one of the best picks all year to the dumbest comment I've ever heard in my life.
I still stand by that.
You see what I have to do, Lord? You see what I have to do?
He's not going to save you if you go to Japan.
I see this. You're not going to save me if I'm still in Texas either around you. So I'm without saving.
All right, boys and girls, that's going to wrap things up for us for this week right here on From the Rough on FanStream Sports. I want to thank our sponsors, of course, Orion Golf Management Solutions at oriongolf.com. If you've got if you're part of or own, manage a golf facility, whether it's a golf course, a municipal, a private course, a driving range, a par 3, whatever, they can help you with staffing. They can help you with events, with catering, with merchandise, and they can effing help you with F&B. first and foremost. Call or go to oriongolf.com to find out what they can do for you today. And also my personal favorite, Tom's Town Distilling Company. Head over to toms-town.com. Available for delivery in 41 states. Find out if yours is one of those. Get you one of their great seltzers. One of their great, my personal favorite, the vodka. Got a great bourbon that I'm sipping on right now. Mixed it with a little Coke. And I can feel it, Johnny. I'm probably going to take a nap before I finish work here today at the studio. I'm not going to lie. Or I'm going to go play golf, one or the other. I don't know. But either one.
I'll bet on the nap.
Yeah, me too. That's probably easier. It's cheaper too.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Turf Life at turflifeclub.com and our friends at Golf Central Magazine, golfcentralmag.com. Head over there, put your email address in, get you a free copy delivered electronically each and every month to your inbox, and enjoy some of their travel, philanthropy, lifestyle, golf cart girl of the month, golf bachelor of the month, golf bachelorette of the month. A lot of featured stuff over there at Golf Central Mag. It is not just a golf magazine. We appreciate them very much. And on that note, Johnny, we're going to jet out of here. We will be back when? Wednesday? Monday? What are we doing?
Today is Wednesday, so we'll be back Monday.
Okay, we're coming back on Monday then with another From the Rough right here on FanStream Sports. Until then, boys and girls, y'all keep hitting them straight.